Cat's Dio, Do It Ourselves channel. I have here a automatic transmission fluid flush kit, and it's a full flush, up to 8 liters. It'll full flush your automatic transmission. It's very it's very convenient. A lot of you might be on the fence about changing your transmission fluid. Questions about uh, some are too harsh, too much pressure. Well, this one, it's not going to introduce any other pressure other than the one that your transmission already provides. So it works off of your automatic transmission pump. Two jugs separate the used transmission fluid and your supply of brand new automatic transmission. So about 75 bucks, you can assemble this. I have the instructions following this, and I hope you like, subscribe, and comment. Maybe even forward this to your handy friend that, who knows, they might be willing to service your transmissions once they uh, they see the value in this. My 2 gallon capacity automatic transmission fluid flush kit. I say it's a flush kit. It's not a flush machine because it doesn't have its own pump to service the hydraulic or the automatic transmission. It's going to rely on your own automatic transmission pump. So this is it's got two chambers. This first one for the used and the second one for the new, or the supply of up to 2 gallons of transmission fluid. So here's how it's gonna go. You hook this up, so you break the line, hopefully past the radiator uh, cooling system. That's where you want to tap into. Separate coming back to your automatic transmission pan after it has gone through the radiator cooler. That's where you want to break. So this used portion you hook up to the one coming from the radiator. With your engine idling, it's gonna pump that as it pumps the dirty automatic transmission fluid into this used chamber, the jug. It's also gonna provide a head pressure. So the used automatic transmission fluid settles at the bottom. As it fills up, it's pushing air, creating your source of pneumatic pressure, which will then feed this second one. Remember, this is there's only a little bit of air here to start with your 2 gallons full. That air supplied by the automatic transmission pump, it's gonna slowly push this fluid, pushing it down. Now between the two, only this one has a pickup tube, so it's gonna be forced down to that pickup tube, going up and out this half-inch vinyl tube, clear. So the only resistance you're gonna get is on the adapters. This is half-inch vinyl tube. It offers less flow resistance. So once you get to whatever adapter you use, depending on the sizes of your oil cooler lines, the transmission oil cooler lines, that's pretty much the only restriction from the source to the outlet. Typically 3/8 inch, half or a quarter inch rigid lines or flex hose. So that's where you're gonna encounter uh, flow resistance. But as far as the rest of this 6 foot plus 6 foot, as you're talking about 12 feet of half-inch vinyl tubing, it should offer less flow resistance. because it's half inch as compared to the 3/8. This one here is a quarter inch, but it's pneumatic. So air tends to not get bothered too much by flow resistance. So that's okay. I kept it at half inch diameter inside, or a quarter inch inside diameter vinyl hose. That's what came with the Home Depot garden sprayer. I chose 2 gallons, so that way if your transmission fluid requires 6, 7 quarts, then with one go it's covered. So you're gonna have, I haven't even opened that other one, but this one already did. I even marked where I'm gonna drill, and inside the package you're gonna have this vinyl hose, the one which I'm not gonna use. This, I'm not gonna use the pumping action, but I still need to use this to seal it. Next item is 20-foot vinyl tubing. It'll set you back $15. This is 20 feet. So I'm planning on running like 6, 7, 8 feet uh, each. That'll give you uh, plenty of slack when you're connecting to your transmission. Brass adapters. So this has got a half inch by 3/8. Again, it's an overkill being that it's a brass fitting. So if you can find a plastic version of that, more power to you. Hose clamps. This is the Walmart special. So I may not even use it, but just in case, I'm gonna. I should use the smallest of this, about 8 pieces if I do use them on the hoses, and it's $3 a piece. So this is like $6 right here. Two-part epoxy. Uh, if you want to, just to make sure that it's not going to leak on you or back off or spin on you. So use a two-part epoxy. This is going to be an option. I think I will use it since I have so much of this. This is like $22 for this one, but if you buy the regular two-part epoxy, it's probably like $5. Tools. We're gonna need a drill that can chuck up to a half inch. See this? I chucked it up here, and I'm gonna make a tool out of it. So what I'll do is I'll spin this and then use this sanding disc to taper just ever so slightly, just taper the tip a little bit. And then once I stop, I'm going to use this cutoff wheel. So I'm going to switch from sanding this to the cutoff wheel. I will then cut a cross right there, like a cross hatch. Okay, I have the sanding disc ready. It's going to be loud. So I'm going to be mashing two tools. Okay, I'm going to try to go the other way. So they're going to be opposite each other. Okay, I think that's enough. Now I'm going to be switching again. Okay, now this time the drill is just a holding tool. I won't be spinning it. I don't know if you can see that. It's one. I'm going to go 45 degrees. And again. Okay, so that's that. And then I'll repeat the process with the other bottle, but it's less complicated because there's no need for the pickup tube. This one's going to need a pickup tube. For the air supply, I just figured I'll use what came in the box. However, I don't need the wand, so I I removed the fitting. I'm using one fitting. It's already pre-assembled, and if you can see that, there's a slight bulge right there. That's what's gonna seal it when I install this one here. And this is to tap the air pressure created by the automatic transmission, supplying the one with the fresh automatic transmission fluid with head pressure, air transferring from here to here. So you don't need a half-inch diameter vinyl tube. This will do whatever came with the product. However, you need to do a little bit of modification. Remember the bulge I showed from that one that's already pre-assembled? You need to sort of replicate that, and I did that by found a round stock. You can probably find a pen that will provide you an opening and just enough to make it bulge so that it'll complete the seal. Otherwise, it'll slip off. Once you thread this in here without the bulge, it'll slip off. So that's what I'm doing. The minor correction, I actually used the 5/8 size on the step drill. So if you are running a straight drill bit, use a 5/8 inch drill bit. That's what's gonna fit on this uh, tap that I've created. Slight difference between these two. So once you do the tapping, you install your brass fittings. These two pretty much identical. You install your vinyl hose, except there's a slight difference once you get to the part where this one here collects used transmission fluid. So once it gets once it gets pumped here, the fluid, it just drops inside the jug. So needless to say, there is no need for the tube. This side, however, when this chamber gets pressurized, you want to be able to push the transmission fluid up here on this half-inch diameter vinyl hose The garden sprayer comes with this. It's a small pickup tube. So I could have used it. However, it will introduce a lot of resistance. Being it's a big difference between this is a quarter-inch diameter. The outside diameter is quarter-inch. So if you look inside, it's going to be even smaller. We're talking maybe 3/16 of an inch, that opening over that whole length of about 18 inches. It's going to create a lot of resistance to flow. So what I've done is I fabricated a way to use another half-inch diameter hose. It's I think it's a fuel line with a half-inch diameter. So that became my pickup tube, thereby not introducing as much resistance to flow. Okay, I am ready. We are ready with Cat's Dio. Do it ourselves. Well, if I can do it, you can do it too. So, maiden tryout on this full flush kit that I made. The beauty of this thing is you can just approximate. You don't have to really measure the exact amount of transmission fluid because you make the call. When you're happy with what you see, meaning you start seeing clear transmission fluid getting dumped in the used jug, then you can call it good and stop it and then refill, do your final check, refill the fluid level. And here we go. New transmission fluid getting pumped. It's also building up pressure.